Ravens are AFC Championship Game bound as for the first time ever in franchise history, the Baltimore Ravens will host the AFC title game next week as they await the winner of Buffalo and Kansas City on Sunday. Welcome in to this victory edition of Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us as the Ravens dominate in the second half on their way to a 34-10 win over the Houston Texans. This game was tied at halftime, 10 apiece. And then the second half, the Ravens really just put it in gear and took things to another level. John Harbaugh said the halftime atmosphere in the locker room was a bit edgy and that this team really showed their amazing spirit to really adjust things and wake up in the second half on their way to this win. And you got to start off with Lamar Jackson with his performance. 16-22, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. We'll talk more about what he did in just a moment, but also had 100 yards on the ground and 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, credit to Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans after the game for what he had to say. He was spot on about Lamar Jackson. This is why he's the MVP. Justice Hill with a solid day. 13 carries, 66 yards. More on the run game in just a moment, but I liked what they saw collectively from this group with Lamar on the ground. Gus, Justice, Dalvin Cook got involved in his Ravens debut. Zay Flowers with 4 catches, 41 yards. And then the defense. I mean, this was a challenge that they were facing going up against a Houston Texans offense that was red hot entering today. And they held C.J. Stroud under 175 yards passing. The run defense was immaculate, shutting down Devin Singletary to 9 carries and 22 yards. Nico Collins led the Texans in receiving 5 catches and 68 yards. This was one of the most impressive defensive performances we've seen all year. I mean, you think about it, even the 10 points wasn't their fault. There was a punt return touchdown given up by the special teams unit. The defense was outstanding. Now, the injury news. Gus Edwards left the game with a left hand injury. Harbaugh didn't think it was that serious, so that's good news. Ronald Darby with the right arm, Patrick Queen with the arm/wrist. As we get more updates on those guys, we'll let you know and keep you posted on what's going on when it comes to the injury front with those guys. But I'll say this. It sounds like that Mark Andrews, there's a pretty good chance he's going to play in the AFC Championship next week, which is very exciting. Didn't play today, but we're on Mark Andrews' watch for the rest of the league. What is your one-word reaction to the Ravens' performance against the Houston Texans? My one word is domination. Domination. This team did exactly what they needed to do. They inserted their will. They showed who's boss. That's my one-word reaction. Let us know in the comments section what your one word is. And I want to tell you to subscribe to the channel while we're at it as well. Make sure to keep locked in to Ravens Rundown. We had a great time on our watch party this past Saturday. And we're going to be live again for the AFC Championship coming up next Sunday as well. So don't miss out on that. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers. We need your help to get there. We are now, with the number of subs that we gained from the watch party, we're just less than 100 away from reaching that next milestone. So join the family. Subscribe now. Keep it locked into Ravens Rundown. We got you covered each and every day here on the channel. Let's start with Lamar Jackson. Man, Lamar... I think there was a lot of pressure on Lamar going into today because before today, he only had 1 playoff win in his entire career, right? And all the naysayers, let a naysayer know. They were saying, Lamar can't get it done in the postseason. Lamar's got a bad track record in the playoffs. He can't get the job done. He's going to falter when it comes crunch time. And today, Lamar did everything asked of him and then some. He was really good passing the football. The run game was there. Over 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Lamar was unstoppable. That's why he was the MVP. This was an MVP caliber performance that we saw from Lamar Jackson today. I was very impressed. I mean, nobody's stopping Lamar Jackson. Ravens fans, we are so fortunate to have Lamar Jackson leading the way. Big Tex, turn your mic on for this. As we've been saying all day, with the Ravens being the number 1 seed, with having the MVP, with hosting the AFC Championship game. Who's got it better than us?
Nobody!
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody!
And that's a big reason why, is because that man right there, Lamar Jackson. Justice Hill, solid day on the ground. 13 carries, 66 yards, 5.1 yards per carry. 40 yards from Gus, 23 from Dalvin, 229 yards on the ground as a team, 2 rushing touchdowns. This run game is awesome. It's the best run game in football. It showed why today. And just what you have defensively, trying to stop these guys of Lamar, Justice, Gus, and Dalvin. You can hit teams in a number of different ways. How do you game plan for that? I mean, it's just outstanding what we're seeing from this run game. Receiving-wise, Zay Flowers, 4 catches, 41 yards off of 5 targets. Rashod Bateman was solid as well, 3 catches, 39 yards. Isaiah Likely with 2 catches, 34 yards and a touchdown. Nelson Aguilar even had a touchdown grab. Receiving-wise, these guys did what they needed to today. They played good enough to win. They made the necessary plays. I liked what I saw from these receivers. They were awesome. Really good day from this group. I loved what I saw from the Baltimore Ravens on that front. I want to get to the numbers from the Houston Texans. Let's show you some of the statistics from the Houston Texans here. C.J. Stroud came in playing as well as anybody in football today. And what did they do? They held him to 175 yards. I mean, think about this, okay? The Ravens did not have a single sack today. But yet, they still kept C.J. Stroud under duress and brought the heat. Roquan Smith had 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Roquan was awesome. I loved what I saw from Roquan and in this group, this ability to really just create havoc, pressure on C.J. Stroud. Nico Collins had his 5 catches, 68 yards, but I can live with that. I can live with that personally. The big story was just stopping the run game. With Devin Singletary only having 22 yards, this team as a whole, with only 38 yards on the ground, to me was just an incredible job of what the Ravens did to shut down this run game. They made C.J. Stroud beat them, and the defense just did an incredible job today. I was very impressed with what they did on that front. I mean, against just such a high-powered offense. I mean, and think about this. They didn't force any turnovers today. They didn't force any sacks today. But yet, they still dominated that high-powered Texans offense. That's incredible. Who is the MVP for the Ravens against the Texans today? I'm going with the MVP, Lamar Jackson. But who are you going with? Who's your MVP today? Weigh in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards, fantasy points, and more. Prize Picks this week, going with Lamar to have more than 226.5 passing yards. Didn't quite hit. Zay Flowers, I had more than 51.5 receiving yards. That didn't hit either. But I was spot on C.J. Stroud having less than 257.5 passing and rushing yards. Now, with Prize Picks, let's say all 3 of these were to hit. We put $20 down. We would make $100 on Prize Picks. So play along with me. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match on your first entry. Prize Picks, proud partner of Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Check them out. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. $100 deposit match on your first entry. All right. The team stats. The tail of the tape. Texans were held to 213 total yards, only 10 first downs. A lot of penalties, I think, was a big part of this one, too. I got to give credit to the Flock. The Flock in Charm City today, they kept the Texans just on their toes completely. 11 penalties, 70 yards, a lot of pre-snap penalties, a lot of false starts and offsides. The Texans were just on their toes the entire time. Ravens kept it clean for the most part, 3 penalties, 15 yards. Did not get a single penalty in the second half. Time of possession, really just played ball control football. Had some long, sustained drives throughout the day. Just a really good win. 37 minutes, 35 seconds in time of possession. Now we await the Bills or the Chiefs. Get to sit at home, get an extra day off compared to the Bills-Chiefs winner, and they come to our house for the AFC Championship. Personally, I'd rather face the Bills. I've seen Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, and I would love if the Chiefs could not be in that position. If the Bills, I think, either quarterback would be tough to face, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. But if you can avoid Patrick Mahomes, who's already been there, done that, that'd be better. Will the Ravens win the AFC? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know what you think. Subscribe now. We're going to be live next week. Keep it locked in all week long. We're going to have a video out tomorrow night when we know who the opponent is, whether it's the Chiefs or the Bills. We'll have a preview of that matchup coming up on the channel tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time here on a Ravens Rundown. So long, everybody.